to say go live, so we can go live on my Facebook and YouTube. So at omgtalk.com, if you actually see the very top link, it says YouTube. If you guys haven't subscribed yet to my YouTube, go to omgtalk.com on your phone or your laptop and click on YouTube and hit subscribe, and you'll be able to see us streaming live over there. I'm just going to play a beginning thing for the podcast.
It's time for another segment of Mr. and Mrs. Medicare, saving seniors from a high cost of healthcare, debunking Medicare, making Medicare easy to understand for all seniors. All guests of any of the Medicare segments receive a free ebook written by your MedicareLady.com. Here are your hosts, Paul and Sarah Finkelstein.
I have to give a plug for my wife because she's the queen, and the queen gets what she wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll start with our inspiration. I'm Paul Finkelstein, by the way, of omgtalk.com. And by the way, you guys should know, if you haven't seen on the Skylar Network, there's a new feature called Skylar Recommendations or Skylar Reviews. And to get you guys used to how to use it, everybody on their profile, you could see your URL. You could copy your URL to your own profile, and you could send that link to another colleague, another business person, preferably probably somebody you've met along the way on the network or through email or other social networks. Or maybe you could even copy your profile to your Skylar profile. So if it's Faith's profile, or I'm going to call you Faith since I don't have to say your whole all those letters combined, it looks like Chinese to me, right? And Jeff, you have a profile on Skylar, so you can copy your URL, which I made mine. I think it comes out as my name, so it might be just your name at the end of your Skylar profile link. And so if I go to your profile link, Faith, and also Jeff, I could use the assistance of ChatGPT, but I could tell it what to say and make it perfect sentences, so it looks like a nice recommendation or review about Jeff and Faith. And we should do that for each other, and go to each other's profiles, and there's a link, there's a button on the left side. That's the recommendation button, and you paste it in there, and then it doesn't show up yet until the person approves it. So after you send it, then you go to your notifications on Skylar, and you could literally approve that recommendation, so that whoever has the most recommendations, which I'm calling the OMG BIZ contest for Thanksgiving for small business, B2B, B2C, because we're all customers of other businesses too as well. So we're businesses helping businesses, but we're also customers of businesses as well if we need any of those services for each other. So let's, I'm trying to drum up some activity on Skylar by having a business contest to whoever gives the most thank yous to other businesses. And of course, like if you meet them here on a Monday, or maybe you've had a great conversation with somebody, whoever gets past 3 reviews, let me know, and I'll put them on my top 25 on my OMG Cafe community. So that's hopefully a little bit of inspiration for you. But my inspiration that I wanted to give is what I gave last time, because I like to add this little tidbit, because he inspired me, and I should send you the link to Jimmy Valvano if you've never heard of him, he's the late Jimmy Valvano, and he learned at a young age from the original Wheaties guy on a Wheaties box, on a cereal box. He was in 1958. He was a pole vault jumper, and he said that the Lord must have loved ordinary people because he made so many of us ordinary. I'll repeat it because I think it's so great, that the Lord must love so many ordinary people because he made so many people ordinary. And every single day in every walk of life, ordinary people do extraordinary things. Every single day in every walk of life, ordinary people do extraordinary things. And then I'm going to add in, in honor of America, United States, and where I'm from, the Pledge of Allegiance for our business meeting. You'll get to know it, Faith, as our guest. But I'm going to stand up and do our Pledge of Allegiance. I'm far away from my mic. I pledge of allegiance. You could stand if you like to, and honor our flag here, our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands,
For which
one nation,
one
under
nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
with liberty
and justice
and
for all.
justice for all.
And it's interesting that I work for a company called Primerica, and it kind of has the name America in it. So I feel like I should say the pledge every time I meet with a client. And so after the pledge, our word of the day, I copy some of the agenda that I like to use in my Toastmaster meetings, use them in a non-Toastmaster meeting, because I think it's a great agenda because it keeps you from going off track and nobody can mess up your schedule. So I'm going to use the word of the day that I think I might have used last time, but none of us got a chance to really say it, I think. So let's see if we could try to remember to say the word of the day this time, which is actually going to be 3 words named after OMG as an acronym. And OMG might mean different things to different people, but for our meeting, it means online meet and greet. OMG, online meet and greet. And so if you could try to use the word online, meet, or the word greet, or all 3 words in your answers for our networking table topic session. I'm just going to double check to see if that recording is still working on YouTube. Yeah, it's still going live, so that's good. And now our first question up. Actually, before I even get to that, I wanted to do self-introduction so that people on the podcast know who we're in the room with right now. And if you're seeing this on my YouTube or Facebook, you're welcome to join us. We have room for a couple more people, and you could just go to omgtalk.com. Click on one of the first links. It'll take you into our Scholar universe. You'll have to make a profile because otherwise in about 20 minutes, some of us have gotten kicked off before because the software wants us to actually have a profile. So we could follow up with you. It's not just so much you could stay anonymous and come into our room because you do have your video on and your microphone. You bring your own video, you bring your own mic. So you're welcome to join us. And now our self-introductions. If Faith, if you want to tell us a little bit, maybe just a small little bit about yourself, like what state, what country, and tell us anything exciting happened today. And do you celebrate anything like Thanksgiving over in Nigeria during this week, or is it just a normal week over there for you? Go ahead, Faith.
All right, so my name is Ifeanyichukwu Okafo. That's my name. I'm from Nigeria, Delta State. I live in a small town called Asaba. And no, we don't really celebrate Thanksgiving here in Nigeria. It's just a regular week. Everyone just goes on with their day. As for my day, nothing exciting really happened. I think it was just a regular day. Yeah, nothing much really happened. Well, I'm grateful to God regardless for everything. Yeah,
I'm not going to assume, but have you been in Nigeria all your life?
Yeah, I've been in Nigeria all my life. Yeah.
And I don't know about your schooling, or did you go to a lot of school or little school? Did you go right to work when you were born?
All right, so yeah, I went to I don't know what you call it, high school there. Yeah, I went to high school. I went to university for 5 years. I studied electrical engineering in the university. Yeah, so right now, like, I'm just looking for opportunities to network and grow as a person and just achieve my goals. That's what I'm.
Oh, do you have like
actually
a lot of goals that you write on paper, or is there any particular goals you want to share with us, or are they top secret?
Okay, no, some of
Tell
them
us
is
one
some of,
exciting goal.
okay, so one of the things I want to do is I want to meet with, like, networking. I want to meet with people that that are way ahead of me. I want to learn from them. I want to know what they did to get to where they are. Yeah, that's one thing that I want to. I've been trying to do since I would say since let's say since October. Yeah, since October, I'm trying to do that. Because I noticed that for if you want to get opportunities as a person, you need to know people. You need to meet with people. if you're always in your shell, you don't get to meet with people, you don't get to, nothing really happens, right? So, but when you talk to people, like even when they have an opportunity, they'll be like, "Oh, this guy is a great guy. He does this thing. Like, can you help him with this?" And yeah. So that's something I want to. That's one thing that I want to work on, because I'm someone that is always private, shy, and things like that. So I want to break out of that.
Excellent. And then let's go to our next. This is just the introduction phase. So we're just happy if you just told us your name and your country, but you gave us a little extra. So that's great to get to know you a little bit more. How about Jeff? Why don't you tell us something maybe we might not know about you, or tell us, did you go to school in California and San Diego or Sacramento, or anything, any hints along the way?
All of the above. Actually, I was born and raised in San Diego. Went to as high as junior college in San Diego, then transferred to UC Davis. Got finished with all my lower division classes, and got half my upper division classes finished there. I got into organic chemistry and found that I couldn't memorize the structures of organic chemistry. And so that was the only class in my career in science that I nearly failed. I got a passing grade, but that was by the skin of my teeth. So I decided that I was going to go to Cal State Sacramento, took real estate and finance, and minored in computer programming. And at the time I was doing computer programming, it was still a key punch error. Tell you how long ago that was.
A while ago.
About 45 to 50 years ago now.
Yeah, a few decades. Four or 5 decades. Would Faith be around here? Were you born more than 4 decades ago? You
No.
over 40 or over 50?
I just turned 72.
You just turned 72.
Yeah. So
now you got one more year till you could remember worry about required minimum distributions if you have an IRA account.
Anyway, so I started working for some banks, built up a financial analysis firm. Then in the Clinton administration, Clinton changed all the rules on federal contracts, which happened to be 2/3 of our business, and put the firm out of business. And we had 30 people working for us at the time, mostly on contract. And
what did you sell though?
Oh, we did analytic studies for banks and trust companies.
So you sold like an intangible product.
Well, I kind of think of it as more of an intellectual product.
Right.
Because you have to use the brain to analyze it.
Right. So does that mean that could an AI bot do what you did?
All they could do is do it based on the mathematics of it.
Right.
But the final analysis was taking the data and the analytics and coming up with a a decision that's based on all that for the bank to put their hat on, or the trust company, and insurance companies too. I forgot about them.
You did that for a
So-
long time, by the way?
That was 15 years.
I mean, for 15. And then after that, something different, or did you go into your own thing?
I went and put together a software company and built applications for banks and trust companies for another 10 years. And then Y2K hit, and I had workers in 5 different countries helping me. And so
anybody from Nigeria?
No. No.
Too bad. It might have been in cheap labor. I don't know if it's expensive or not.
Well, actually, the cheapest labor I had was in Bulgaria.
And you could go probably cheaper somewhere else, I bet. Or no?
Oh yeah, but the problem is that the cheaper they are,
The less experience?
more. No, not necessarily, but the more liberties they try to take.
Like bigger lunch hours and something more complicated than that.
More complicated.
Right.
More like liberties on what the requirements are. And I found that I had to explain things more at the lower rates than I did to the people at the upper rates. And I spent most of my time at that time just talking to people, getting contracts, and getting the requirements for projects.
Okay, let's finish out. Let's round out the self introductions, and I should have the 3 of us here live in the studio here in the Scholarverse, if you will. I'm Paul Finkelstein. You guys met me, but maybe somebody listening on my YouTube or my Facebook page, one of my Facebook pages, Facebook profile, somebody who ever sees this, let people know about omgtalk.com. There's a little banner underneath it, like the lower thirds. It just has a little blip about OMG Cafe and bringing small businesses together. So I'm Paul Finkelstein in the Delray Beach area, which is about 50 miles north of Miami and about 3 hours south of Mickey Mouse or Disney World. So if you know where Disney World is, we're on the same side of Florida as Disney World, close to the Atlantic Ocean side versus the Gulf side of Florida. So thank you guys all for being here. For the meeting description of what we're doing here today is the OMG podcast that brings small businesses together or professionals and do networking questions, about 5 to 13 questions between the 3 of us in the Scholarverse studio. And then we'll do a 7-minute impromptu speech where you have the option to talk about your either a hobby or a passion or your business and why you do it for 7 minutes. So, and I'll time it too, but I'm going to use the clock instead of like that rigid. I'm just going to say, okay, we're going to start at 10 minutes to 6 and you have 7 minutes and you guys can look at your clock and you'll go for about 7 minutes. But for the first one, you just have to go for about a minute to 2 minutes, no more than that. And I should get out my little gavel here. Here it is. For when you get to 1 minute, I won't wave it in the air in front of the video. When you get to 1 minute, when you get to 1.5 minutes, I'll wave it again. And at 2 minutes, then you can wrap up. You'll have 30 seconds for each topic. And they're networking questions. So I just choose some questions out of the box. Hopefully these are brand new questions and I mix them up a bit so you don't get the same thing from last time. But hopefully it'll maybe strike interesting questions because we have one guest here from Nigeria, Faith, because I still don't know how to say your name. Could you say your name for me like twice? Go ahead.
Okay, Ifeanyi.
Ifeanyi?
Let me put it like
Ifan, you
that's fine.
Ifan, you like
Ifeanyi.
Ifan? Okay,
I-
Ifan,
Ifa, Ifeanyi. Yeah, that's fine.
Ifan.
It's fine.
Okay, is
That's
that
fine.
like the first syllable of your name, or the whole name? Okay, good to.
That's yeah. It's fine.
All right, so let's start off with. I'm gonna say the topic first, and then I'll pick one of you guys to answer it for the first minute. But you have 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes maximum. Okay, Jeff. Okay, here we go. What was your best vacation ever? What was your best vacation ever? And I assume all around the world people take vacation. Is that true? You find
Yeah.
you guys, and is your like sometimes in Europe I hear that they take vacations for a month. Do you guys take vacations for like a month long and they call it holiday, or do you just take like a week off or a whole weekend off or something?
Yeah, we do take like for a month or depends. It
A
depends
month.
on the. Yeah, I think we've done something like that.
But I'm
Yeah, we
gonna
have.
ask you this question then again. What was your best vacation ever up until now?
Okay, so my best vacation ever. I think that was when I traveled with my family to a place in Nigeria that is we call it is a state, Edo state. Because Nigeria is like divided into like different states. We have 36 states in Nigeria. Yeah, so went to a state there. That's Edo State. That's where my mom is from. So the primary reason of us going there, I think we just went to meet with her family members, and I think someone was doing a wedding, so we went to use the opportunity to like see the museum, other cultural, basically just to see what makes Edo State Edo State. Yeah, so it was fun because I'm kind of person that I love to spend time with family. Anything that has to do with family, I really enjoy it a lot. So that's what makes it my most memorable trip, because it was with my family.
And thank you for playing, Ifan. I think I need to say Faith.
Sure.
If that just sounds easier if I just call you Faith, because you seem like a
Yeah.
man of faith. But I'm going to ask our next contestant or victim or a business owner or entrepreneur. And if you don't like this next one, you could do the prior one about your best vacation. And that is, did you ever dislike a celebrity you had admired because of something you learned about them? Or you could talk about your best vacation ever. And you got a minute on the clock. Jeff.
My best vacation was to Malta, and it actually happened by accident. We were coming home from. I was an exchange student in with the university in Nairobi, and we were studying field biology in Kenya, and the trip was over with. So we're flying back to London. The plane had to stop in Malta because it lost 2 exterior windows. And I don't know if you've noticed, but on every airplane there's an interior window and an exterior window. So it they put down in Malta, and at the airline's expense, we got a all deluxe guided tour of the entire island, and it's really amazing because, first of all, the architecture there is part European and part Arabic and part Mediterranean. The history of the country is amazing too, because every major empire has owned it at one time or another, with the exception of the Russian Empire. So they're at the time before they joined the European Union, their money was quite unique. The paper money was British pounds. The coinage was US dollars for the big coins and US cents for the aluminum coins. And it was quite interesting how they blended all the different cultures of their history into this island. I'd like to go back to it.
Where is that
spend some more
located?
time. The island of Malta.
Where is that? Like in the Pacific coast
It's in
somewhere?
No, it's in the Mediterranean.
Oh,
just south of Sicily.
Oh, that's it. Wow.
Yeah, it's between Sicily and North Africa.
So this is a great geography review. Well, I'm sure most people aren't thinking about the world when they go to work every day. They're just thinking about their world.
Yeah, this island was had some famous quotes in history. For example, like Patton spent a year there, and it was after the incident where he slapped an enlisted man in the army hospital on Sicily. And so he was dispatched there for almost a year. And his famous quote was, "I don't know what I did, but the army saw fit to assign me to this rock in the middle of the sea."
That's his quote.
So that's his quote. Yeah.
Interesting. So maybe we'll hear more about that in your 7 minute, or we'll hear something else, maybe more passionate than even that. But that sounds pretty passionate. Where would your dream picnic be served? Where would your dream picnic be served? Since I'm the last person to go here and nobody else has joined us just yet, and people listening on YouTube and my Facebook, fellow business owners, most welcome guests, as they say in Toastmasters, to orient the guests in the room. This is just for 1 minute, but my dream picnic. I mean, I don't know what my dream picnic would be, because a picnic is by nature, I picture getting a basket and spontaneously picking up some cold cuts or something, or something non-perishable, and finding maybe the dream picnic is a romantic date with my wife or something would be the dream picnic, and get us to just get unplugged and not bring our phones with us, and just have some time that we could not look at the news or something, and we could just be in the moment and just enjoy smelling birds, or roses or flowers, and look at some mountains, and maybe even the beach out in the. I mean, we haven't been over. We live 6 miles from the beach over here, but we don't go to it every single day to sit in it in the sun, because apparently it's not good for if you have pale skin. I think you could tolerate the sun, I imagine, if Faith, more than we can, because you're pigment, they say, biologically. But that being said, though, I think that to be unplugged, I think, would be the best picnic. Ironic that we're here talking. I'm talking about that on a podcast, streaming to people that could be looking at this electronically, and the dream picnic would be not having all this technology around us. On another note, though, what's the most unusual thing? What's the most unusual thing you've done lately, Faith?
That's a very interesting question. What's the most unusual thing I've done lately? Huh. All right. No, nothing actually comes to my mind.
Or you could tell us about another great spot to vacation, or do you have a dream? Do you like to travel, and tell us about where you want to travel next?
No, I don't like to travel.
Not at all.
I'm the kind of I'm not really someone that likes traveling. I'm the kind of person that where I am in, I just try to get comfortable there and grow and build there. I don't like traveling. I think um okay, yeah, something unusual I'm doing. I think now I'm trying to do more of content creation, like create content on Facebook. Yeah. I think that's something I'm trying to do. I'm trying to talk more about some of the things that is happening in my country. Like there's like in some part of Nigeria, there's like so many insecurity. Like so I'm trying to like speak for people that don't really have a voice. Yeah, so that's something that I'm trying to do. That's something unusual that I'm doing because ideally it's something that I would have never done in the first place. So that's basically the only thing. Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing, though, for sure. See, we're getting to know each other, and that's why I think it's powerful to have networking topics that are completely random and just using the power of a card like this to get to know other businesses on a Monday at 5:30 Eastern, and it can usually accommodate a lot of time zones. But if you were getting married this year, what kind of wedding would you plan, Jeff? That's a loaded question because I don't even know if you were ever married before or you're married now or his microphone went off and he can't hear me. Are you frozen? Jeff, could you hear me? Jeff? Can you hear me, Faith?
I can hear you.
Oh, so Jeff, you could still hear me? Hello? I think he turned off his speakers. Jeff, can you hear me? He's really focused on ignoring me, or his headset just cut out. Jeff, can you hear me? Maybe he's taking a phone call. Oh, now he's gone. Maybe, oh, look, he's coming back in. Maybe he went to refresh. Let's see if we could ask him this question again. But it's not letting me let him in. I'm going to try to accept. Okay, I hit the accept. Can you hear me now, Jeff?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to ask you the question again. Maybe you heard it, but if you were getting married this year, what kind of wedding would you plan? I'm assuming you're not married or never were married. I have no idea, but if you were going to get married this year, what kind of wedding would you plan? You have 1 minute.
Well, considering that there's only a month and a week left of the year, I don't know. Probably have to be a real simple one. That's a good question. Let's see. I don't know about the wedding, but
It's a big commitment. Let me tell you.
Well, what I was going to say is I don't know about the wedding, but I was going to say that I can think of a lot of places to go for a honeymoon. That'd be quite interesting.
Where? That last place you just talked about, Malta.
That's a good one. Amsterdam is a good one. The Philippines is a interesting place. It's made up of some live and some extinct volcanoes that make up all the islands. I'd like to see Japan. This is another one.
Well, what about your wife or your wife to be?
Well, that's an open question right now. I'm still single, so.
Well, if you met her when you hung up from this call and You say, okay, we have 1 month to get married because we got to do it this year. You think she would like it?
Most women don't like to rush into things. And she would feel probably pretty rushed if I said that.
Women don't like to rush, do they?
No, they don't.
I really want to ask Faith about the women in Nigeria.
The famous poet once said that women go by their own schedules.
Aha. So let's segue to Faith and put him on the spot if we're allowed to or try. We're curious. So can you tell us? I don't know anything about Nigeria. If you were to be our tour guide and tour us around Nigeria, and then and describe to us what the women are like in Nigeria. Maybe they're different than the women here. Or obviously, they are. They're women. They may think differently than men, perhaps. I'm trying to think of where I want to go with this, but tell us in high school. I mean, do people date early in high school? Do guys date women in high school, or dangerous question as well?
Okay. So in Nigeria here, yeah, we have the younger ones, like they do date. Like you could be in high school and you're dating, but they usually don't want, like, we usually don't want our parents to know. Like it's not something you do like openly, because your parents are going to be like mad. They'll be like, oh, you should be focused on your school and things like that. So they really don't want you to start dating until maybe when you're like in college. Yeah, I think that's when they would allow things like that. But in high school, they'll be like, oh, you're too young for that, and you should. So we do that. We do date, but we probably won't let our parents know about it. So we just keep it between ourselves and between our friends. Yeah. So the culture in Nigeria, it's quite different from in the United States, right? Yeah. So parents in Nigeria are more they're more strict. Yeah, I think they want their children to follow a specific type of lifestyle. They don't. I would say it's just how they feel is the best way to train their children. So that's how it is. So they want their children to follow a specific type of lifestyle, even if the children may not appreciate it. I think that's the right word to use.
Now, if you were looking for Miss Right versus Miss Right now, and you were looking for a perfect wife, would you want them to be outdoorsy kind of a wife and go on hikes, or would you want a wife that likes to travel? You don't like to travel, so I guess you want a wife that doesn't want to travel also, or would you want a wife that does travel? Because you tend to, I hate to be the bearer of good or bad news, but you tend to meet your opposite. So if you end up meeting a wife that likes to travel, are you going to compromise and go with her places, or would you try to sell her on staying put?
Yeah, I think from my little experience, I would say it's, for me, I prefer someone that is opposite to me, like someone that is completely not necessarily the same. I think what I'm looking for is someone that just gets me and understands me, kind of person that I am. Yeah, we can't be the same person. That's not possible. Everybody is unique in their own way, right? So you can be someone that travels a lot and everything, but you should be someone that still gets me. You get me, and you just love me just the way I am, and you're really to help me you're willing to help me and support me to achieve my goals, and I am willing to do the same for you as well. Yeah, every other thing, if you want to travel and you be like, oh, you can even drag me, like, you have to travel with me, you have to go with me. I may not like it, but I'm going to go with you because, yeah, it's going to be fun at the end of the day.
And thank you for that. So we learn a little bit more about the culture of a true Nigerian, born and raised in Nigeria, went to high school and any college, by the way, too, or just high school, or what?
Yeah, I went to a college. Yeah, since you call it college, I went to a college in Nigeria here. The name of the college is but here we call it university. I think we use the breeches, the the British English. So I went to Nnamdi Azikiwe University. It's um, in a state, another state in Nigeria called Anambra State. Yeah, it's in the eastern part of Nigeria. Yeah, so that's where I schooled for 5 years. So our engineering courses is usually 5 years. I think in the United States, I think you have 3 years course, but for Nigeria, engineering courses are usually 5 years. Yeah, so that's where I got my bachelor's degree in electrical engineering.
So because you technically are an electrical engineer by trade and college, does that mean if you had all the money in the world and the resources, you could make everything in your house? You don't need you could be your own electrician.
Okay.
You
So
know,
what I
what does that
actually
give you the knowledge
what I
to do?
yeah, so in the Nigerian university, our sadly our the system, it's not really designed to like as at now, it's not really designed like, oh, when you're done with school, like you have like a vast amount of knowledge to do so many things, right? So that's the thing. But personally, what I learned was a bit of renewable energy. Yeah, that's the area that I specialize in. So when it comes to like solar panels, batteries, installation of solar systems, that's something that I was able to learn and specialize in. But during I did internship, right, and in an organization. That's when I began to fall in love with working with data, um, Python, working with Python. Yeah, so that's the area. That may be something that may lead me to specialize in, maybe to do a master's in data analytics or something like that, or maybe to take another course, like to do something different, because it's something that I'm passionate about. It's something that I love doing, and it's something that I want to I want to build a career in. So I may actually like divert into that field in the nearest future.
So here's another question to switch topics a little bit. And Jeff, how do you over all these years measure success? People call success means different things to different people. One definition I heard of success is the progressive realization of a worthwhile dream. How do you measure success, though?
Well, for me, success is how many people I can help make their life a little bit better.
Makes sense.
In dealing with workplace bullying, people have great bits of hurt, and helping them get through it hopefully makes them feel better. And that to me is success, one person at a time.
Now, is it somebody like everybody seems to have a personal story? Is it involved with yourself that you encountered this workplace bullying, or was it some close friend of yours that you saw got treated in a bad way? Is there anything you want to share about that? What made you want to help in this area? A family member or just a high school friend?
First of all, I always believed in treating people like I wanted to be treated.
The golden rule?
Yes. And when I went to work for the state, first thing I noticed was people that were professional were treated like they were in kindergarten and they did something wrong. But they were humiliated. They were demeaned in front of other professionals that had large responsibilities as part of their job. And to me, that wasn't right. So to help them out, I went and became a union steward, and then I started learning on my own about workplace bullying. Now, as a programmer, we tend to use Google a lot to get our code. So some of the learning I was pulling up off the internet through Google. Some of it was knowledge that I already had from running other companies. But still, that wasn't enough. Finally, I ran into a expert in the field in 2015, and he helped me with a campaign that we had put together. Probably about 8 or 10 different segments of the union that were local, and started talking to people, and we found out that that what I was seeing was the tip of the iceberg. And so I explained it to my friend who was the expert, and we started getting campaigns going to meet with the legislature about doing something about it. And from that point on, I became not only heavily involved in representing people in the workplace, but also at the same time educating people on how bad this stuff really is. And I've been doing it ever since.
So by somebody not being bullied, obviously, we're all on our good behavior here. We all seem to be good so far. But if they encompass some things that make people feel uncomfortable, it would turn out to be a different meeting, right?
Oh yeah.
So did you make a certain practice in your systems and the companies that you were running that people show up on time and do their assignments?
I didn't have to.
Mhm.
I treated them like professionals. I taught them on the finer points. You know, I was open to questions all the time to answer their questions. I never had to do some of the things that I've seen managers do in state service.
Here, I'll add something on top of that, and then we'll ask the same question to Faith. Jeff, if you could tell us, what do you have a hard time saying no to? Is there anything you have a hard time saying no to?
Yes.
Funny to start with the word yes.
I have a hard time saying no to kids that ask innocent questions.
And that kind of reminds me of the book Think and Grow Rich. And you know, have you ever heard of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill?
Yes.
Both of you? You have? And the chapter, Desire chapter, I think it's chapter 2. There was a little kid, I think it was a girl, and I don't remember who she was standing in front of, but she said, "My mammy wants 50 cents." I don't know what culture or whatever, You can conjure up whatever you're thinking, but she said, "My mammy wants 50 cents. My mammy wants 50 cents." And then she stood up. I mean, she was standing. She was as tall as she can get. She was just a kid. And she would stare up into his eyes, and she wouldn't budge. And he was getting so annoyed with this little girl. And she just, like, kids have this certain innocence about it that she said, "My mammy wants 50 cents again." And pretty soon, that eyes, like when I look at my dog and he looks back at me, when Faith looks at his dog and your dog looks back at you, and you know that the dog wants either food, to go for a walk, to go outside, to get a hug or something. And this kid wanted 50 cents to bring to her mother because they really needed it. And he came out and he couldn't say no to the girl, but he wanted to. I'm sure he wanted to say no so bad, but he couldn't do it. But go ahead. I just had to share that little quip to remind you, if you needed reminding about that chapter 2 in Desire, and Think and Go Rich. I think everybody should read that book every single day for the rest of their lives for the next 100 years. If you don't read it anymore, you should pick it up and read it. But Jeff, tell us more about anything more you want to add to about saying that you have a hard time saying no to?
No, it's mostly kids with their innocence that I have a problem saying no to.
And Faith. Oh crap! That's a technical term. Uh-oh. Now what do I do? What the hell? Somehow I'm glad you guys stayed here because I guess I got disconnected. So I'm glad I don't have to let you back in and you were still in the studio. I just have to go over to my recording because it seemed to have lost it. And now I have to find out how to get it back. Technical difficulties, please stand by. I'm just going to reshare the screen and put us back on the air. Somewhere over here. Okay, there it is. Where are you guys now? Which window? All right, there you are. I'm gonna click on the right 3 dots here. Oh. So, did we leave off with Faith? If you could tell us what you have a hard time saying no to.
Ooh, I thought you forgotten. Okay. I think I would say for me,
maybe staying in this meeting until you have to go to sleep. You could have said no, but you
Okay.
came here, so thank you for that.
Yeah,
Gee,
yeah.
I hope it's not that long.
Well, I would say it's difficult for me to say no to. So I just love helping people. Yeah, I think I'm someone that loves helping people. And if I know that it's something that I can do for someone, yeah, I try to just do it. Yeah, so that I think if it's just my nature to help people. So, but I try to make sure that it's not in a situation where it's going to cost me like my own happiness or something like that. So I always try to like look at myself and be like, oh, am I giving too much or am I just giving like, is this okay? Yeah. So that's what I look out for.
All right, Jeff. I didn't ask any questions myself, but if I can get away with it, I probably could. But You should stop me if there's a particular question you want me to go back to and ask, or I'll just go to the next one. Is there one of the questions, Faith, do you think I should tackle myself?
Well,
I think
the only thing that I would say is you asked in the very beginning about OMGs.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I got 4 of them scheduled the next 3 days.
For what?
OMGs.
Oh, online meet and greets. So you have 4 from the Skylar Network, or from LinkedIn, or somewhere else, or locally?
Yeah, it's through Alignable,
Alignable.
and one of them is a physical meet and greet at a Japanese restaurant.
Okay. And do you have a hard time saying no to meeting people over there?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. But did you want me to talk about any of those particular circumstances, though, relating to what I would talk about for a minute, or should I choose the next question?
Well, I actually have more than a minute to talk to him. We have an hour scheduled for some a good number of them.
I meant, did you have a question for me, or no?
Oh, a question for you. If you could go to any restaurant, what would your favorite cuisine be?
I think that my wife and I probably shouldn't say think, because I'm pretty certain that we both love food. And
The 4 major food groups?
the major food groups are what? Indian, Chinese, Italian?
No. FOOD.
FOOD, food?
ND. Yeah.
So my favorite food groups are Indian. I like Indian food, Chinese food, Italian food, even Mexican food. I yet to have black soup from Nigeria. That is Faith's mom's favorite recipe. I remember from last time.
cool.
Now he's been thinking about. Did you have any black soup since last Monday?
No, not really.
Do you miss it? You must miss it, though.
Yeah, I do. Probably next week.
Do you
I'm
like
gonna
to,
try it again.
do you like to cook,
Yeah, I do.
or you wait
Although
for
it's
your
stressful.
mom to cook it, or some
No,
other?
no. I like to cook, but it's kind of stressful. But I have to eat. So
Would you consider?
yeah, and
Oh, go ahead. Keep going.
in Nigeria we usually we cook a lot. Like everything we do, we love like cooking, like fresh food and everything like that. So that's it.
Would you consider cooking or being a chef a competitive sport? They have these cooking
No,
shows where people compete with each other to see who's the best
oh
chef.
yeah, we do have that. We do have shows like that. It's fun, but I don't really enjoy watching things like that. So, but we do have like some um what do you call it now? Um, like it like restaurants or things like people that like we have companies that sponsor things like that here in Nigeria. Yeah. So they just have like a show where like they try to like showcase their products and things like that. So they use their things in cooking, and it's fun, but it's not something I enjoy doing. So I don't really watch them.
So if I give you a choice and you could watch a cooking show, or you could watch golf, or you could play golf, would are any of those things you would like dread doing, or would you like to play golf or watch golf, watch a cooking
I
show, or actually cook yourself?
Okay, I think in or if I'm to place it in um order, I would say I think I would play golf because I don't think I've ever played golf before. Never. I think I would love to something I would love to try. I would not want to watch golf because I probably like fall asleep. I don't know. Yeah. So if it's something that involves me doing, I think I would prefer doing than watching. Yeah.
Do you know what the maximum number of strokes you're supposed to have playing golf if you play 18 holes of golf?
Absolutely no idea.
Like if you were able to, I think you're allowed like 72 strokes or 72 to get it into the holes on the greens and put it into the holes. I think like 72 is par on 18 holes.
So
And
I don't know.
at first time going out, maybe you might end up with a 200. I mean, you're young enough where you probably could swing at the little tiny ball on the ground, so it's not like baseball where there's a pitcher.
Yeah, I think
you get to swing at that ball and get it 200, 300 yards.
I don't know. I think maybe that's Jeffrey's thing. I don't know.
And then the rest of it is like mini golf where you have to pretty much put the ball into the hole. Do they have mini golf in Nigeria where it's like a little game that you bring your families to?
Yeah, I think we have a mini golf here, even in where I stay. But a lot of the young people here, we play you call it soccer. Yeah, that's what a lot of young people here in Nigeria
soccer meaning Nigeria. Football. You call it football there?
Yeah, we call it football.
You call it football, but we call it soccer. With your feet.
Yeah, exactly. That's like what a lot of young people play. So if you're talking about golf, it's just someone that maybe is really passionate about things like that, and they just. I think it's the wealthy people, like the old wealthy people here in Nigeria that usually they just come together to play golf, like yeah.
Speaking of which, if there was an after-school activity that you wish you could have done as a child that you didn't do, if you can go back in time as a early high school, is there something that you didn't do that you wished you did that you would do now if you were younger? I'm thinking he made his video freeze. I don't think it's me. But did you both freeze?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Maybe he made his video freeze so he couldn't answer. So Jeff, you get to take this question. If there was an after-school activity that you wish you did as a child, what would it be if you didn't do it? I'm hearing a doorbell.
That's pretty hard to the only thing I could say that I would have liked to have done more of was ballroom dancing. I played sports. I did all that. But I like the music, the
hustle, the cha-cha,
I like the band type music. And the symphony orchestras and things like that.
Let's go to go ahead. You still got more?
Well, all I would say is I wouldn't do it at the White House.
The ballroom dancing? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Noted.
Not in that ballroom.
Okay. So let me ask you one more question before I go to Faith again. Which animals do you like most at the zoo?
Well, I like the okapis.
Copies? What's that?
They're like a mini giraffe, but they've got zebra type markings on
them. They're called a copy?
Okapi.
Okapi. It's just not ringing a bell. Do you have these okapis in Nigeria?
I don't really know.
I think they're from Australia's rather than Africa.
Yeah, probably.
All right,
I don't think I've seen.
so Faith, you could take this question, or you could take the next question in this card. So you could tell us about what animals you like at the zoo, or you could take this next question, or what's behind door number 3.
I think I will answer this question.
This question about the animals at the zoo.
Yeah. Um. I like these animals, but I don't think I can ever get close to them because they will probably eat me. So I love lions. I love the lions. I just want to like observe. I like the I think they are very social animals. So I just love watching them, how they come together, and how they just socialize with each other, and it's just fun to watch. But again, I'm never gonna come close to them so that they won't eat me.
So you're afraid of being eaten by an animal.
But
you have more. You're closer to the wild animals where you are. Are you like in a protected area?
No, we like all the wild animals. They're like in the zoo, or or they're like in like you don't see like lions like you don't see that anywhere. Like you have
You don't live in a safari, right? You live in a city.
No. Yeah, we live in like it's a city here, so you don't see things like that.
Because I've never been anywhere close to Nigeria. I have this image that there's a lot of safari animals around.
No.
And there's just not a Burger King down the street.
Oh, we have Burger King. Yeah, we do have that here.
Interesting. So you
Paul, most of the animals that you're talking about are in national parks
in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Nigeria has national parks too.
Yeah.
But they're all in national parks. And in fact, when I was in Kenya, we studied the breeding habits of lions.
Wow.
Out in the bush, but the bush was part of their national park.
Did you find anything interesting out about the breeding habits of the lions?
Not really.
I mean, Jeff.
Well, they're very social, for one thing.
Social in a good way. They didn't want to eat you, right?
No, they raise their families just like we raise ours.
Mm-hmm.
They only kill for food, basically. But you get too close, they're going to defend their family. The thing of it is that when the mother of the lioness wants sex, she kind of demands it from the male.
I'll make a note of that. So the next question I would ask before maybe going into a 7-minute, if I dared challenge these guys to a 7-minute, we have to listen to them for 7 more minutes on their passion or their business and why they started it. I'll have this one last question, and you could piggyback onto it if you want to name another animal. I'll say a piggyback. But what question would I ask the Dalai Lama? That's the question. What question would I ask the Dalai Lama? And I'd say I would like the Dalai Lama to be one with me in the Scholarverse. You're like, what? I would like the Dalai Lama to come join me in the Scholarverse at omgtalk.com and participate in our networking questions so that I could see these 2 gentlemen here and whoever comes as a guest. I like to see their smiles or their sad faces or their happy faces. by him participating here with us. So be one with us in the Scholarverse. That's how I asked that question. But if you could ask, what question would you ask the Dalai Lama, Faith? Does anything come to mind? Or Jeff, the first person to throw out a question wins. But okay, Faith, do you have a question for the Dalai Lama?
I think I'll leave the floor to Jeffrey. Thank you.
Yeah, he passes to Jeffrey.
I would be curious to ask him, how is the Dalai Lama chosen?
Okay. Did he choose himself? Maybe he chose himself.
No, it's a very secretive process.
Right.
So
does even Google know? It's so secret that even Google doesn't know, or your YouTube.
Most likely, Google won't know.
Because I mean, the answers to everything on the planet is on YouTube and Google, right? There's not.
I don't know if it's all on YouTube or Google.
I mean, as a simple thing, I bought a chain to extend the ceiling fan chain wouldn't reach low enough to the floor so I could reach it. So I got this chain and I put it on, and then it was about 6 feet, and it was too low when I put the extension chain on, and it had all these beads in it. And I know it seemed common sense, but if I cut the chain, I wasn't sure if all those beads were going to fall to the ground. So call me crazy, but I went on to YouTube and I said, if I cut the chain, will all the beads fall off, or could I don't have to use the full 6 feet? And sure enough, somebody made a video about it, and he cut the chain. It didn't fall to the ground. And then I shortened the chain, and it was on YouTube. And so now you don't have to ask your wife or your husband anything. Although I do have a coffee cup that says, "My wife is right." It sounds like the old TV show, The Price is Right. And it kind of rhymes, wife is right. And makes her feel good when I drink out of it. So let's go into the last remaining aspects of our show for today up until 7 o'clock or before. And if you'd like to take 7 minutes each or 5 minutes each, and tell us about something you're passionate about. Maybe it's something here on Scholarverse. Maybe you met somebody on the Scholar.network that you could tell us about, or you've invited somebody to Scholar and tell us what they thought, or something else, or maybe there's something really interesting. So let's start with Faith. Tell us, you have 5 minutes minimum and 7 minutes maximum. Tell us about somebody you met, or tell us about something that you find interesting.
Someone I met or something I find interesting. That's where do I even start from? Something I find interesting. Okay, I would say I find yeah, I think people that are very social. I think people that are social, I find them very interesting. Like people that can talk for like a very long time. People that they can just walk into the room, and they can just connect with people. They can flow with people. They can just it's basically like they've been there the whole time. I think I find them very interesting because that's something that I want to work on. Yeah, that's the kind of person that I want to become. It's not something that I was born with, but I want to be that kind of person. I don't know if that is that a bad thing. Is that
no? Are you thinking about? There's actually two people. There's a guy named Dale Carnegie, and there's a guy named Ralph Smedley, and they both started groups that help with public speaking and leadership. And the Ralph Smedley started a group that's global in 145 countries, and I'm sure Nigeria as well. You should probably, if I didn't tell you already, you should look up toastmasters.org and find a
Oh
local.
yeah, you did.
Oh, I did tell you? Maybe last
Yeah, I
time, or
think I need
maybe
to.
when we met before. But you should
Yeah,
definitely remember toastmasters.org,
I need to
O-R-G,
write that
instead
down.
of .com, toastmasters.org. And find one that's around the corner from where you live in person. And you can go the first couple of times for free. And
Okay.
and some of the things that we do in this meeting, they do in that Toastmaster meeting. And I do on purpose because they're great things to have in a meeting, like timing the meeting, like having a word of the day, like actually counting people's ahs, buts, you knows, so's when people talk. Like, could we pick on you, Jeff, a little bit? Because sometimes when Jeff or other speakers are speaking, sometimes you say you're thinking and you say
Mm-hmm.
so, but, and if you catch Jeff or some speakers saying that, I used to say it a lot, but in a Toastmaster meeting, they would use a bell and they would ding the bell every time somebody said like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so, and they were, these things did not contribute to our speaking. And they would ring a bell every time somebody said that, but not every time, maybe like 2 times, because if it got a lot, it would distract the meeting.
Yeah.
And it's not meant to put somebody on the spot, Jeff, but it was just meant to make them aware that we say these things as filler words and to get us to actually focus on not being afraid to have a dead air when you're speaking, but to actually pause. And maybe pausing examples could be when you ask a question and say, do you ever know somebody that speaks and they say the word, that not a word, but the sound in the middle of their speech? And you see what I just did there is ask a question, but then don't say anything right away and let there be dead air or a long pause. And by having that long pause is on purpose pretty powerful. Instead of saying, so like you're wondering what you're going to say next.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now I just lost track of what question I asked you. What did I ask you?
I think you asked about what I'm passionate about, or yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have anything else to add for this evening before you get tired and go to sleep on
No,
us?
no, not really. I just wanted to just talk. So
Right. So we'll end on Jeff, and maybe I'll talk for 5 minutes. I'll come up with something to say for 5 minutes, and Jeff, tell us something that you're passionate about for 5 minutes.
Well, we are starting our legislative season right now, and we are going to do a 2-prong legislative session this session, and we are presenting a bill called the Workplace Bullying Accountability Act as one of the prongs, and this bill centers around the duty of care of an employer when they hire an employee. Implicit in that duty of care is looking after the employee. And what we mean by that is that I'm trying not to use the word
Good.
What we mean by that is not to, well, have policies that prevent bullying in the workplace and enforce those policies. And when the employee has a claim filed with management to investigate that claim fully and fairly, not to use any biases in the investigation, and also not allow any retaliation for filing that claim. And if they follow the prescription of the bill, the employer will be exempt from any liability via lawsuit or otherwise. And the employee can sue the bully directly in that instance. Whereas if the employer does not follow the prescription that's outlined in the bill, they become liable, and the employee can then sue both the employer and the bully. The other prong is there's a government code in the state of California that says that abusive behavior in the workplace, in state government, or in government is forbidden. And then it outlines what the definition of it. However, they use the word malice to describe this behavior. And the reality is there is no malice because there's no intent by the abuser. It's strictly a power thing, and it's strictly impulsive and done by ego. So there is no such thing as malice from the abuser's point of view. So we want to amend that so that it becomes easier for the employee to file a claim against the state for having abusive behavior in the workplace. And that's our legislative agenda for this session.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And what you're passionate,
You're welcome.
And what you're passionate in as well. We'll do some feedback after the next 5 minutes. I just want to give an introduction to the OMG business contest that I'm running and OMG Biz Cafe on the Scholar Network. And that is, and actually, if you go to omgtalk.com, I put some frequently asked questions to the very top. And then underneath it, I gave some samples of how to do a recommendation or review on the Scholar Network. You know, similar that you can do on LinkedIn or Alignable. Maybe Facebook has recommendations too, and other social platforms. But last year I used Alignable. This year I'm using the Scholar Network for a OMG Biz Cafe contest for small business owners. But I'm starting my contest now. They don't start their contest until like January. So I wanted to have a Thanksgiving theme because I thought that having a business contest from the last week until the end of April, until April 30, how long does it take you guys to write 10 thank you notes to a small business that you could say something kind to because they were helpful? It might take how long to send a physical thank you note to 10 of them. So I figured if I could encourage people to get upwards of 10 to 500 thank you notes, I wanted it to go to April 30 because I wanted it to be a springboard and grow this network here, whether it's my OMG network or Scholar Network or your community, if you have one on the Scholar Network. You could, how many people here know that they could actually have their own community on the Scholar Network. Did you know, Jeff? Do you have your own? Do you have one, Faith?
Not yet.
Right.
I found out a couple days ago.
And what you could do to test it is you can click on my name and go to my profile and then click on the word communities. And you'll see ones I owned and ones I'm a part of. But then there's a blue button where you could click create and make your own community. But the key thing with this contest that I'm having is I want to have a top 25 of the number of business owners and colleagues on the Scholar Network that actually, and the way to participate is not by a voting button, but by those people that give a sincere recommendation or review on somebody else's Scholar profile. So like let's see if I could even do this live on, it'll actually mess up the sharing, I think, because I'm using two different platforms between StreamYard and Scholar, and Scholar has a sharing function like Zoom, and StreamYard has a sharing function, and then I'll be sharing in two different places, and then it would mess up my screen, I think. So I guess I can't do that for you here. But I wanted to give you some introduction about the OMG Biz Cafe or OMG Talk small business contest from now until April 30, where we could see how many of us could meet sincere other business people and get a chance to meet in person virtually, because most of us are far away. Like Jeff is 3,000 miles away from me in Sacramento, California, and I'm over here in South Florida. And Faith is in Nigeria, and I don't know how far that is. Is it more than 4,000 miles? If you had to guess, could you Google for me how far is Nigeria from Florida, and it'd probably tell you. Maybe one of you guys can sit back and answer. So
it's about 10,000 miles from New York. I know that.
I wasn't even half. Okay, 10,000 miles to get to Virginia. So a long flight, like at least 13 hours, if I had to guess. So that in mind, today I just could I plead for you guys to test out the Scholar review recommendation feature and click on my name that you see underneath my video. You see how my name, all of our names are underlined. Jeff's name is underlined, and Fitz or Faith, your name is underlined. My name is underlined. So that means if you can click on my name, it'll take you to my profile. And on my profile, there's a button on the left side. I don't know if it has like a thumbs up or something like that. It's really tiny. And if you click on that button, it opens up a little small pop-up. And then you could type in the input box a Scholar review for me. And if you guys could tickle me and say, not figuratively, if you could put some, what you think, give me the feedback, what you like about this meeting or what you learned from this meeting because of Paul and the OMG network. Are you guys able to find it while you're in the meeting? If you click on it, it would open up into another tab, and then you can come back to us in the tab that says Scholarverse. But if you click on my name, does it open up another tab to my page?
Yeah.
And then on the left side, do you see a little icon box that's got like a little small, tiny thumbs up or something?
I opened Jeff's page and I'm seeing what am I seeing?
I'm seeing
recommend.
I'm gonna click on Jeff's, and there's a recommend button. Okay, so if you were to click on mine, does it say recommend? And if you click on recommend, it brings up a little pop-up, and you have an input box.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could type something in there that says, what did you like about Paul's OMG Business Network? And say something you liked about it. Say something you learned in it. Say you met Jeff. Say you met Paul, and you spent 90 minutes with these two guys, and you were also streamed on my YouTube, and how the experience was. And then on my end, when you're done and you hit the submit button, I have to look at my notifications on Scholar, and then I could approve it. And when I approve it, I'll have a list of recommendations. And when you get to 3 recommendations, I want to include your profile. So if all of us do that, and I click on Jeff and Faith, and then you guys click on my name and Jeff or Faith, whoever you see, then we all should have 2 recommendations on our Scholar profile. And then if you could get 1 more between now and next Monday, I would love to add you guys to my top 25. And then let's see who could be the top 25 by April 30th and see how we can grow this network with people that come to our in-person virtual meeting. And if you want more information about the contest, just go to omgtalk.com and you'll see the frequently asked questions. Why do it? And why do it during Thanksgiving? When you do, and I just heard an alert while I was talking. So if I click on over to another tab, I'm just going to refresh the screen. And I see that I have a couple of more notifications. The first one actually is a friend that I met on LinkedIn. I'm waiting for that bouncing diamond shaped. Let's see, where'd it go? Fits. If I click on the notification, let's see if it, that other tab is running slow on my end. So I'm going to go back to it. But if you get a chance to do that, Jeff, too, and click on my name and then click on the word recommend and put like a sentence. What'd you think after last time and this time? And you could say, I love those questions. They were amazing. Or Paul, pick brand new ones. And okay, so I'm going to go back into the book and I'll just make sure I mix them really hard so that you get new questions. But I think this time is definitely new questions.
Who is behind you?
You just saw my queen. She did know that she could walk behind me and the virtual background would not completely hide her. So yes, this is my queen of 26 years. So if you were here, you were able to see it. But now she knows that what stays on YouTube or goes records on YouTube stays on YouTube forever. But why not? So it's about the 7 o'clock mark for us. We'll be celebrating Thanksgiving on Thursday. In Nigeria, they have no idea what we're talking about. They have an idea what we're talking about, but it's not part of their history.
She's behind you again.
She's behind me again.
Africa doesn't have any turkeys.
Oh, we do.
Do you?
Yeah, we do.
Well, like North America has?
Yeah, we do have turkeys. Yeah, but we don't really celebrate like Thanksgiving. It's just Christmas and New Year, Easter, and I know. Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, when I was in Africa, I didn't see any turkeys there.
Oh, where was that? Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kenya, Tanzania. Both.
Wow, we do have turkeys here. We do.
Do you have turkey for lunch at all? Like just sliced turkey, or do you ever put turkey in the oven?
No, we usually fry ours. Yeah.
Oh, you fry them. You have one of those fryers where you have to cook it outside?
No, we use like a big pot, like then we put in like the oil and we just drop it there and like we cut it into like pieces, different pieces, small pieces. Then we like fry it and we just eat it.
All right, so let's end on a great idea that I usually do, which is a good ending to our meeting. Is now you guys actually have to. You did that recommendation button on each of our profiles, and I'll go back. And I couldn't do 2 things at once, so I'm going to go back to Jeff's after our meeting ends and Face, and I'll put a recommendation for you guys. So if you didn't get a chance to, you go back and do mine, and that way you'll start off the week with 2 recommendations on your profile. But tell us, for the record, verbally on the podcast and my YouTube, Jeff, tell us one thing you liked about this meeting and one thing that you learned.
Well, I learned that Africa has turkey.
Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's true. I think I learned that too. I didn't. Well, who knew? They have. I thought they had
Yeah.
lots of wild animals outside of national parks. Anything else
Yeah,
you learned?
Well, and for Faith, in California, we have wild turkeys.
Which
They
Whoa.
walk the street. They walk the streets, and
you're
they're
not
all
talking
over.
about the people, right? You're talking about the actual
No,
animal.
I'm talking about the bird.
Okay, because wild turkeys are the things that actually fly too, like an eagle, right?
They fly, but not like an eagle.
Because usually turkeys can't get off the ground, but wild turkeys can get off the ground.
No, they get off the ground, but they take a while to get up in the air.
They do take a while. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So that's kind of like some people's businesses, sometimes, they're not soaring at great heights. Let's just call it that. All right. So Faith, what did you like from our meeting, or what did you learn? Anything?
Okay. What I learned
Or
is
like?
yeah, I like the fact that everyone here is just free and able to share their their life experiences, and we just we just talk about ourselves and learn from each other. That's what I love about this meeting.
Excellent. Yeah, and that's what I think what makes a great networking meeting is just to have some networking topics in the beginning. We'll get to know each other. And then when you're ready to give your 7-minute talk about your business or hobby or nonprofit, we got a chance to know you a little bit instead of just, okay, who's this? Now they're going to do a 7-minute talk. I don't know who they are, and they're going to put me to sleep. And it does take a while to actually train to be a better, impactful speaker. For instance, if we can get Jeff to stop saying and ah, I'm picking on you a little bit, but it's not meant to pick on you. If anything, it's a teaching thing for other people listening and you to let you know that you are doing it a little bit. Whether you're at any stage of life, people in their 20s, 30s, 40s. Sometimes I know millionaires that are, they're not perfect speakers, but they could improve also, right? Everybody could improve. So thank you guys for participating. And I should probably play this at the end. Can you guys hear this too?
You have been listening to the OMG podcast with Paul Finkelstein. We can help you build wealth without hogging your time. Schedule a one-on-one with us. Thanks for listening. Join us again for another OMG podcast segment.